Hey guys, how's it going? Chez back again with another episode of the Chelsea Career Mode here on Xbox One. We're into episode number 56, and of course this is the second episode of the re-return of the Chelsea Career Mode. We came back to it last Thursday, and I asked you guys for as many transfer suggestions as you could humanly possible, or as it was humanly possible to give me, and you guys went nuts. We had over 120 comments, and most of those had multiple suggestions within them as well, so there was literally hundreds of players for me to go out, scout, have a look at, and see what I could potentially bring into the club. Now, I asked you for centre-backs. We've got two centre-backs we're looking to bring in, with the potential of David Luiz leaving the club. Just one quick mention of note: there is a lot of transfer action involved in this particular episode. I'm not going to go through and describe to you exactly deal by deal as they flash up on your screen. I'm sure you can, you have the brain capacity to be able to take in what's going on the screen as well as listen to the commentary. So I asked you for centre backs because we're looking to move David Luiz on and bring in two centre backs potentially. I asked you for a wing back, as you can see, Alexandro on your screen. Potential wing back to come in, might be using Ryan Bertrand as a make-weight in that deal as well. And as you can see, we're moving on Leroy Fer. They've had the counter-offer accepted of $7.5 million, so we're looking for a holding mid as well as the wide wing-back and a centre-back, and we're of course looking to replace Fernando Torres as well. Torres' time at the club is going to come to an end. He's 31, 32 years old now, and unfortunately, in FIFA terms, that means that your stats start to decline, and rather rapidly as well. So unfortunately, Fernando's going to be on his way out, and we're looking to replace him. But we're trying to use David Luiz as a make-weight here as well. He was the main centre-back that I said I wanted to move out of the club, and if we can use him as a counterbalance plus a little bit of money, £5 million for Eloquim Mangala, then that would be an absolutely wonderful move to do. I'm pleased with the ability to use the players as a with a cash plus player deal, something that needed to be introduced into FIFA, and I'm glad that it is in it now. It makes it more Football Manager-esque, if you know what I mean, when it comes to the transfer dealing side of things. We were trying to use Ryan Bertrand in this deal. You would have seen on your screen a little while ago that we were putting in a bid for Luka Modric as well. Now, not the obvious choice to bring in at this particular time of his career. He is 29 years old, but he is a wonderful professional, a really, really good player, can do the business for us, and we actually put the bid in £15 million plus Lars Bender, so it's a big deal, £15 million plus Lars Bender for Luka Modric, and he would start alongside Arturo Vidal as our holding midfielder, which would be absolutely fantastic if we can pull that deal off. Now, I said we're going to be looking to move Fernando Torres on, and the player we're looking to replace him with is Alexander Pato. Now, you guys went nuts at me in the AC Milan career mode, asking me to bring in Alexander Pato, bring him back to Italy if we possibly could. But of course, it was in the midst of his 2-year loan deal between Corinthians and Sao Paulo, so I was genuinely physically unable to bring Alexander Pato back to AC Milan. But he is a fantastic striker, and I am looking to bring him in there. He's basically a straight up replacement for Fernando Torres. Good feet, decent pace, better pace than Torres may perhaps even have had in his prime, and of course a wonderful finisher as well. So if we can get that deal done, that is a particularly good one, and he's kind of the ilk of Luis Muriel, who of course we already have at the club, and then we've got the big strong physical presence of Loic Remy as well as a third rotation striker. So strength in depth is definitely something that we have going for us when it comes to the amount of players we have on our squad that are world class in quality. And we got a big offer here for Thibaut Courtois, and I couldn't decide whether to accept it or not. £19.5 million for Thibaut Courtois. Of course, Petr Cech's stats, even though he's 32, 33 years old, haven't started to drop yet. And I was torn there. I didn't know what to do. I did reject it in the end, but you guys will have to let me know in the comment section down below. If we do get a big, massive offer in for Thibaut Courtois, should I think about selling him? Because, of course, Petr Cech will be our #1 goalkeeper, and there are potential replacements out there for a backup. Of course, Jamal Blackman will go out on loan because he's only 58/60 rated and basically isn't good enough to stand any chance of getting into our starting lineup. But if Courtois does move on, we would need to replace him, or we'd have the money come in from that deal to be able to replace him. But Alexandro was the first player that we got to contract talks with, and he's going to be the first player that we bring in this transfer window. £8 million plus Ryan Bertrand for the wingback. I'm pleased with that. He's a good player. He's the same sort of player as Ryan Bertrand, but a little bit faster and a little bit better in the tackle and a little bit more physical. So basically, he's just an improvement on what we already had. Pleased with that. Also pleased with this deal for Eliquim Mangala as well. A very similar player to David Luiz, in fact. Big, strong, physical, a lot of pace in his locker as well, and very, very good in the tackle. So pleased to get Mangala in. Also, the deal for Luka Modric has been completed. £17 million plus Lars Bender are the exact details of the deal, and hopefully we can bring in Alexander Pato as well. Now, one thing I did have a little bit of an issue with here towards the end of this particular transfer part of this episode was that by bringing everyone else in that I wanted to bring in, I actually ran out of transfer budget. Now, the deal for Alexander Pato was £10 million plus Torres. Now, as you can see on your screen, we only have £8 million available here, so I'm looking to move on Ashley Cole as well. Hopefully that deal will go through and we'll be able to bring Pato in the not too distant future. But the contract was accepted, but at present we don't have enough to bring him in, so I have to stall on Alex Pato, which I was disappointed in having to do. And then we get a bid in for Torres on his own, and I had to reject that because, of course, Fernando's part of that Pato deal, and I can't then sell him on. I'd have to renegotiate with Pato, and we may end up not having the finances to bring it in on a purely cash-based deal. So we went into this friendly away at Fiorentina, not really knowing what's going to happen with the striker situation at the club. And of course, I was starting low at Remy up top in this one. You'll have seen the lineup in the little frame just before we got to the actual game itself. Now, as always with pre-season friendlies, I'm not going to show you too many highlights from these. Of course, I only really tend to show the goals, unless of course there aren't that many, and then I might show you a couple of other key highlights. But I just cleared the ball with Thomas Callas there, and it fell kindly to Loic Remy. The defender brought it down, in fact, almost for me, controlled it for me, and Loic Remy was just able to race away. Great pace in his powerful legs has Loic Remy, and it was an easy finish across the goalkeeper into the bottom corner. And then Marco Van Ginkel is going to link up really, really nicely with Lucas Piazza on a gorgeous little scoop turn there to send the defender, and a great finish. Kind of opposite to Remy's, across the goalkeeper into the bottom corner. Jan Vertonghen, absolutely no chance with that one. Jan Vertonghen, by the way, very, very good defender, was someone I was going to look into bringing into the club at centre-back, but of course recently moved to Fiorentina, so I wouldn't have stood a chance of bringing him in. Hence why we went for Jerome Boateng and Eliquim Mangala in the first place. But we headed into the second half, trying to extend the lead, as actually Callas gave the ball away here rather than creating something like he did similar to the first half. And Mario Gomez plays in Kozuki Honda, who slots through Cuadrado with a beautiful ball, and Cuadrado has so much pace. I'm just not going to get anywhere near him, and he's going to make it 2-1 to Chelsea. They get one back in the 67th minute, but that was all that was going to be said for this particular friendly. We do come out with a win with a rotation side. We've only got one friendly left now because, as you'll be able to see from the next frame here, we actually have to qualify for the Champions League. Of course, we only finished fourth in the Premier League last season, so we have to qualify for the group stage against Austria Vienna. The actual team that we have to play there in a two-legged affair. So tomorrow's episode we'll have the game against Genoa and a game against Crystal Palace. Hopefully we'll be able to round out that Alexander Pato deal. Let me know in the comment section what you think of the deals that I've made so far, and if we have any more money left, let me know what I should do with it. But of course, as always, on the end slate, feel free to hit that subscribe button. There's an annotation on the left hand side of the screen, or your normal subscribe button, or of course the link in the description as well to so you can subscribe to the channel. Make sure you don't miss out on any of this series or the World Cup sticker book, which will come to you tonight, or My Player, which was yesterday and will be tomorrow night as well. Of course, if you missed the previous episode of this series, there's an annotation on the right hand side of your screen to take you to that video from last Thursday. And feel free to follow me on Twitter as well at Chesnoy Gaming. There will be a link in the description for that, and of course, like it says at the bottom, check the description for my upload schedule so you know what and when I upload. But as for now, guys, that is all from me for this afternoon. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you're enjoying your half-term week, and I will see you next time.